Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I quickly want to explain my STEM DK setup for Horns of the Reach. Now this works for all stamina classes because they are built very similarly in terms of gear and like skills and all that kind of stuff. So first off, let me drink a potion. So you see I have a lot of stamina. So I use a 5-1-1 setup because I'm a red guard. Like you can be a Khajiit, Red Guard, Imperial, as long as it gives either crit or max stem, it's really good. Using the Warrior, best Mundus Stone at the moment. You see decent weapon damage, max stem. There is even setups where you can get like 4.6k weapon damage. I also do have like a stamina optimization article on my website. I will put the link into the description. I do have a Discord server if you want to go check it out. People are Fury crafting there, showing comment metrics, parses and all that kind of stuff. So make sure to join there as well. Put the link into the description. Now, gear. So it kind of depends, like at the moment, because we have like a few stamina setups in our group. I'm using Night Mothers, another stem dude uses Thunderflame, and another one Morak Tongue. If you're the only one, use Two Fanged. But yeah, that's I run this here and Vicious Ophidian. Sometimes, instead of Vicious Ophidian, I also run Briarheart. Basically more or less the same damage. Just this here is a little bit better for sustain, especially if you're not the Red Guard. Now you can run an Infused or a Divine piece here, doesn't really matter, I just like the extra stamina. And at the moment, as I said, I have 1 heavy, 1 light, 5 medium, and I use here a max stem and a max stem here. Now you also can run 2 weapon damage, like Velidreth and Kina. You also can run a full monster set. The damage difference is really like, it doesn't matter. Like it matters more to have a perfect rotation than actually whether you run a full monster set or a 1-1 setup on the monster piece and all that kind of stuff. Now weapon here, precise with a weapon damage enchantment, and on the front bar, on the main hand, infused with poison damage. Back bar, Maelstrom Bow, precise. Now you can run infused here, you can run Nirnhound, you can run precise. More or less same damage. Here it's important to have infused poison damage enchantment because it will give you the highest single target damage. This here doesn't proc a lot, and precise is probably the best trait to go for. And all weapon damage enchantments obviously, because we are running a heavy attack setup on the stamina DK. You have to run a heavy attack setup on any stamina class, otherwise you will not be able to sustain it. That's it about thing. Like you can just run all divines if you want. Like the difference is basically 0. Champion points. Just have to make sure here that you have a lot in Thaumaturge, Precise Strikes, Mighty and Piercing. It's also on my website. Piercing depends how much group buffs you have. If you have more group buffs, you maybe need less points in Piercing. If you don't have a lot of group buffs, you want more points in Piercing. Then we have those things here. It's always similar for every class, more or less. Now I put a lot in Tenacity for heavy attacks, because we have a heavy attack build here. And that's just whatever. Yeah, that's it about this. The skill set, back bar, always the same for most stem setups, at least how I play them. Some people use Rearming Trap on the front bar, but like I played this game for so long, I tried to swap this to the front bar, I keep misclicking, so I have Endless Hail here, Rearming Trap, Poison Rejection, Cult Drops, and then here Molten Armaments and the Standard. So those abilities are always the same for any stem setup that I play, because like they're not class specific. And the thing is, if you run an infused bow, you should always use Endless Hail first, right? Because you will get higher and higher damage the longer you're on the back bar. This obviously helps a lot with increased heavy attack damage. Then Venomous Claw, Deadly Cloak, Noxious Breath, Rending Slashes, and Vigor. If you don't need Vigor, I highly recommend slotting it, then you can use Flames of Oblivion. But the thing is, Vigor is really nice, especially if you have several stamina DDs in your group. If you use this, it will help you a lot. Same thing with Deadly Cloak, you need this. It gives you 25% damage reduction, it feels like 50%. It's really insanely strong. Okay, very important. Other things to mention, if you run a 5-on-1 setup, you need to have Undaunted Metal to get the extra 6% resources. If you don't have any Undaunted, then just go with a 7 medium setup, because it's easier. Now if you still have struggles, like with staying alive, you could also run this on your stem setup, because it's really, it's so strong. You get 5.2k, like you will have a lot of resistance, physical resistance, spell and physical. And the thing with this is, you see, you also get 12% increased healing. So this, it's so strong, but most people don't use it because nobody ever sees people run this stuff. I'm just saying it's an option. Dawnbreaker here because you want more weapon damage. So it's a pretty standard setup. In the end, you need to know where you want to place stuff. I mean, you could run this here on the back bar, this here on the front bar. I just like to have it like this. Rotation is still the same, like on a stem DK, nothing really changes. Let me actually check if yeah, Combat Matrix is active. So you see the rotation is pretty simple. Front bar always heavy attacks, each skill after each other. Always if you need to use Vigor, you can use Vigor. If you want to use Flames of Oblivion, use this, gives you like 1.5k more DPS. Then back bar on each ability a light attack. It is very important that you do as much light attack as possible, because this here you get more damage the more light attacks you do on your bow abilities, which is very important. Other than that, there's not really... maybe the heavy attack... let me actually... there we go. When we look, this Endless Hail is definitely the strongest ability, right? And then we have other stuff. So this is an AoE dot, single target poison, and then the heavy attacks. They're pretty strong. And in raids, you know, when an enemy is set off balanced, heavy attacks do 70%, if I remember correctly, more damage. So they will get even more damage in raids. Poison weapon, 1.5k. Actually pretty low. I thought we'd get like 2k. Whatever. Other than that, yeah, there's not really much to say. I mean, you have some nice stats here. You see the weapon damage, max stam, and all that kind of stuff. I like to run a 5-on-1 setup because if you have if somebody uses a horn and you have ebon armor, you sit at like 20k health, or maybe 19.5k, something like that. So it's really hard to actually die. But yeah, if you want 7 medium, go for it. If you die, then, well, you know why. Also, obviously, you can get more DPS on a dummy. If you really target skeleton horny, you can get more, but it doesn't really matter. It's just because I'm not running two-fanged and all that kind of stuff. I'm not at the penetration cap and all that kind of things, so just so you know. I don't know, other than that there is not really anything to mention. Maybe, let me actually check. Another thing about the rearming trap, obviously if you do this on the front bar, because of the fighter skill passive, you get higher weapon damage. So that's why you probably see most people run this on the front bar. Get 3% more damage. It's not a huge difference, but when we look at it, 3887. 3971. So the difference is not that huge, but it's still a difference. So obviously, probably if you can slot it on the front bar, do it. Another thing to mention, people also saw me using Shrouded Daggers now in raids. Is it better than Noxious Breath? It's hard to say. I like it because it bounces off. You see, nearby enemy dealing 9354 physical damage on the first bounce and 11.2k physical damage on the second bounce. So that's also something. Oh no, the first hit is 7802, and then the more it bounces, the more damage it does. You also could use this here if you really want to, the silver bolts. Like there is silver shards and it goes up to 5 additional enemies, just half the damage. That's another option you have. You have to see, this costs 2352, 1990, 1882. So the cost is also different, but you have seen, like, I was full stamina all the time on the target dummy. Again, I have the builds on my website with the article about stamina optimization and all that kind of stuff. There is a lot of good ways to run builds. Like, there is not only one super good setup, it always depends on the situation. If you want to optimize for target dummies, then go for it. If you want to optimize for solo play, then you need to change stuff. If you want to optimize for trials or dungeons, you also need to change things. Obviously, you also can always run the same setup, because in the end, the difference is not that big. That's what you need to understand. Like, when I go into a dungeon, I'm not gonna swap things around, I'm just gonna run this because I know it will deal good damage. Same thing if I run Briarheart. Where are the... It's also gonna be good damage. Like, the difference is not that big. Obviously, because I'm running Night Mothers here, right? That's a trick with a lot of the setups. The 5-piece bonus is gonna stay on the back bar. You see, it stays for 6 seconds. So I'm not for 6 seconds on my back bar. The moment I swap front again, it will crit immediately. Same, like if you run maybe Hunting's Rage, you could run Hunting's Rage on your body pieces and then Briarheart here and 2 weapons. because the Briarheart proc also lasts 10 seconds, so it will stay active on your back bar. That's also another trick that a lot of people use. That's basically it. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section below. Don't forget to sub. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.